Okay, you guys, welcome to 1111 True Crime. This is not a usual broadcast. I'm going to share with you a series of events. It's going to contain the first part, which happened 4 days ago, or 5 days ago actually, that happened on a live. Then I'm going to show you what happened on a live last night with the bio grandmother, Lilly and Jack's bio grandmother, shared some very disturbing information. And then stick around because I'm going to talk about another case about Harmony Montgomery and update you that will give you some answers as to why I have a lot of concerns about what happened in that case and now Jack and Lily's case. So this is going to ask you to open your mind. You're going to have to think about the fact that there is bad in the world that harm children. Now, I want to preference everything I'm sharing with you that this is going to challenge you to decide what you believe. What you choose to believe is your choice. What you choose to watch on YouTube is your choice. So my disclaimer is that these are your buttons that you're choosing to push. If you disagree or don't like any of this information, then simply choose to click off. However, I'm going to share this because this happened in such a way that it takes me back to my personal experience in the Harmony Montgomery case, which I ended up calling the FBI, and we'll get into that later. So there's a lot to this video. Now I'm going to slip on my headphones so that we can listen to something. But I want to talk about this. So I have a second channel. Actually, let me start over on this channel. You see, we have like almost 37,000 subscribers. Well, up until we had about 20,000 subscribers, I read energies and I did pulled cards on cases, and it was all very spiritual. I got upset because I wasn't seeing the results I needed to see where I had something tangible to give law enforcement. However, I've always been spiritual and had the gift of sight since I can remember back all the way to 4. All right, that being said, what happened was I decided over on Crime Story Mama, where we pull cards, to do a reading because instinctively I was picking up Harmony Montgomery vibes when it came to Jack, not Lily, but Jack. And I wasn't quite sure, so I thought, all right, I'm gonna try to figure this out, and I'll do a reading. So it was focused between Daniel and Jack. That's the energies I had a question on. I kept getting this imprinted version of a car on a trip, and I could see Jack in the back, and I don't ever hear anything. I just see like somebody showing me a movie. Something happens and Jack is struck. So I thought, okay, I'll just do a reading. I'll keep that all to myself. We'll see what comes out in the reading. What occurred during that live stunned me and everybody else, because 8 minutes into it, a little after 8 minutes, all of a sudden I'm at the point where I'm seeing everybody's seeing the cards, and I don't use just tarot cards. I actually mostly use word cards that tell you. So even if you don't read cards, you can see. All right? So these are my true crime deck. I made them years ago. They're very, very strong, and they absolutely give information every time that is just startling. So I'm asking questions, and these cards are coming up that indeed there is something occurring where Jack appears to have come to harm. So I asked the question, was Jack struck in the back seat of the car on the way home. When I do that, and you're going to see this all because it's still left up on the live, all of a sudden I lose complete power in my house. I'm still connected to the live, I guess, but I'm not connected to anything electric anymore. I can't shut the live off. So I run around like a headless chicken for a little bit. I just drop the cards where they are. I'm trying to find out what happened. We make a call. They explain that in our area, very much around my block, now it's a beautiful sunny day and no wind, but an oak tree fell on my transformer and it burst into flames. So they're rerouting us. They're getting the fire under control. Took about almost hour and 40 minutes to get back onto a live, disconnect the other live. But I was able to stay in chat with everybody. And we were just like, what causes a tree to fall in the middle of a beautiful day? Allegedly, it was a rotten tree. But it was that moment that lights out happened. I had asked to be shown what happened to Jack. I demanded in my own prayer. I should have asked to be shown in the cards. I now know. So this all happens 5 days ago. I'm going to show you that. And then the bio-grandmother of Lilly and Jack, Belinda, revealed last night the information that validates what I see as the reading. I am not claiming anybody did anything. I am showing you a reading, a possibility. Maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. But the uncanny timing of all of this, as spiritual as I am, I know in the bottom of my heart, the last time I felt this kind of energy happened in 3 other cases. Gabby Petito, and I was 1,000% right. It breaks my heart to be right. Harmony Montgomery, which we're going to talk about, and Summer Wells. It all, when I get that feeling, I don't have that feeling about Lilly. I can't explain that. I just know with Jack, I have a lot of woe, I have a lot of grief, and a lot of pain inside when I think of Jack. Now, let's get into this. Pop your headphones on if you want to, or make sure your volume's up. I don't know how good the recording is. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to play all parts. My part, Belinda's part, and then I'll come back. We'll talk a minute or two, and then I'm going to jump into what happened with me, the FBI, and Harmony Montgomery's case, because it changed everything for me, Harmony Montgomery, and a lot of us that know the story, because those that were following me on the Harmony Montgomery case can guarantee you this is how it went down. So let's start off with the reading. Now these are just short little snippets. I will pin the original video, okay? There are 2 parts. Because, well, we always do 2 parts, but also because I lost power, so it cuts us off, all right? Here we go. This is the part that we had. Now, keep in mind, this occurred 5 days ago before there was any validation of anything. All right. Let's jump over here. Of Lilly and Jack Sullivan qualify if the mother of Jack had anything to do with his demise. Bare hands, and stalker, watching, spying, tracking. Somebody saw it. Doesn't always mean stalker like stranger. It can also just mean a witness. Witnessed bare hands. So the mother, I'm asking about the mother. I'm guessing she was the watcher of the bare hands because we got that beaten card. Was Jack struck? Was Jack struck allegedly? And that's when the power dropped. So I dropped my cards right where they were. I've given you the full rundown on what happened. Now I've come back, I've caught my breath, and I've got the live going and pushed all the right buttons, and we are going to we're not going to let this stop us. We're going to get the answers. But I also want to show you what was on the table and what comes out after that. Of Lilly and Jack Sullivan qualify if the mother of Jack had anything to do with his demise. Bare hands, sorry, wrong video. You got to see it twice. So now we're back, and I am stunned. I have found out that a tree has hit my transformer at the exact minute, and I'm thinking, well, that was lights out. That was wild. A oak tree fell instantaneous on a beautiful sunny day with zero wind out of the blue onto my transformer on my block and instantly knocked out all my power. Instantly lights out while we're on a live. And I literally, my last words on that live was, did Jack get struck while in the car on the way home? And boom, lights out. These are the cards I had at the time that came out right as the power went off. This is on the bottom of the deck. You're right, Katrina.
It says parent,
these readings
it says
are
assault,
powerful.
and it says
Indeed.
car troubles.
Okay, so let's get a little bit further into the reading. Well, indeed. Okay. Now you'll see it with your own eyes.
Jesus above, I ask these things in your name. We are begging you from the bottom of our heart, with all those out there that have a good energy, that only want the best for Lilly and Jack, truly want the best for Lilly and Jack. We all commingle our energy into one giant strong voice. To God above, to Spirit above, we ask Jesus, please show us in the cards. See, I said show us last time, didn't I? I didn't say in the cards. Words are important. Show us using the cards. What happened with Lilly and Jack? Do you realize that? I said I want to be shown, and then the lights out, and I was shown, right?
Yep.
That's crazy cool. God works in mysterious ways. All right,
Truthfully.
let's get into this.
I'm agreeing with myself.
Jack, on the way home.
Jack, on the way home.
Show us using the cards.
Using the cards.
Again, what happened with Lilly and Jack? What happened specifically
Watch the
to
cards.
Jack Sullivan? One card. Victim. Innocent. Okay, let's get the phone over here. So we have victim. Oh, shite.
Here it comes.
Cards just flipped on their own. I didn't even get to shuffle. We have coffin. We have chaos, drugs, abuse, broken home. These cards are incredible. Look, coffin. Victim. Look! Look! I told y'all. Beaten. I'm asking about Jack. Beaten. We have this contract exchange. Something was sold. Parent to a stranger. So there's a deal going down. I don't think it is on the children. I think they went on a business deal, took the kids along with them. That's the contract. We have bio, stepdad, parent. We have this outside, the stranger, so that they're meeting to make a rug deal probably. And so they had this contract, right? However, something happened where beaten and death, coffin, funeral, laid to rest. And I told you it's rugs, abuse. And Jack is the victim of such.
I haven't even started the tarot read yet. We're just in cards. This is a very, very powerful deck. All right. So that was on the 14th of July, and that's been up live for 5 days. This is the live that happened on the channel. It's a criming shame. Go give them lots of love and subscribe to them, right? All right, you guys, this is what came out last night as I sat in my PJs on my bed praying that we find something out that helps us with Lilly and Jack. Now, this is Belinda, the bio-grandmother to Lilly and Jack, and she's about to drop this information, and you'll find out more. You'll find out where the information came from, and is the information reliable?
After you just said that, Belinda, your thoughts there, what Charmaine said, or anything else you wanted to bring up here?
There is one more thing that I did want to bring up. I've had into the group chat there, that private group chat, when I listened to Janie, and I heard a few people say that they thank her very much, and they're sure that I would thank her too for being their grandmother. And I'd have to say it really struck a chord in me that it's really, really hard to put into words.
It's okay.
I see Jamie's pain. I believe her pain is real. Her world has been tipped over. I see that. I know that. I do not thank her. I'm sorry. I heard this woman actually complain about Lilly and Jack. I heard this woman say that she didn't need pictures of them because they were living there. I heard this woman say that she doesn't know anything that goes on over in that trailer. She minds her own.
This is not Daniel's mom. This is Cody's mom, the biological dad's mom, that her name is Belinda. And she has done nothing but support and advocate for Lilly and Jack from the second she found out they were missing. She has a solid heart, you can tell. She's talking about Daniel's mom, how people are suggesting that Belinda was probably thanking Janie for being a grandma to these kids. And she's saying it struck a chord with her. And what she's about to drop here, it dropped my jaw. Because I always ask God to show me the truth. And I saw that in the cards. I saw the lights go out in front of my eyes. I have a suspicion that this is the reason I feel so connected to Jack. Very similar as to Harmony Montgomery. And then this is what the grandma shared.
Own business. Well, I know CPS was investigating. I've been shown pictures of Jack with black eyes. There's pictures of him with marks on his chin. CPS doesn't come because of learning disabilities. That much I do know. So CPS was there for something else. So no, I do not thank Janie. I'm sorry, but I don't.
And I feel very much that that's her right. She thought it was a happy home. She thought she was given this family space because they're a new family with a baby and that they just needed to work things out. Now let's listen to how she got a hold of these pictures, because that's also shocking.
It's kind of a handicap, I think, because I don't trust anything or anyone.
I'm like Charmaine, I don't trust anything or anyone.
How dare Darren or anybody else that has sent Belinda pictures of bruises on these kids, how dare they do that without proof, without calling CPS, without doing anything
Without
about
calling
it,
CPS.
or saying, I don't want to get involved, it's none of my business what goes on over there, because that's all it is rumors, right? So now, look what's happened. Belinda has this horrible image in her head, and it could be true. It could be true. But where's the information coming from? And at what point did that source become reliable?
Wait for it.
I will actually clarify the source. I was shown by a reporter because the picture was found at Jack's school.
Of the bruises?
Yes, and it was the school that called CPS.
Right.
I don't know if that's why they called. I don't know because CPS won't tell me nothing.
That's, well, I mean, Belinda, that is, they're mandated reporters. If the child showed up at school with bruises, they have to report that. So that makes perfect sense.
So now, you can see where I'm coming from. It's not a validation I really wanted. I've never wanted to be a seer. I've never wanted to have this gift, but this is the way the cards are dealt, no pun intended. So now I'm going to tell you what happened. I'll let you draw your own conclusion on what all that meant. With the oak tree, the questions being asked, and then what we learned from Belinda. Going forward, I have a feeling for myself that Jack took the brunt of something and that Jack never made it home. I have a feeling that that's why Jamie can say she heard the kids, but she didn't hear Lilly saying, "Come on, Jackie, come on, come on." Because if Jamie did see or hear a kid, and remember, Daniel's the one that said he only seen Lilly pop her head in once or twice. So could that be why there was no, "Come on, Jack, come on, Jack, come on, Jack"? And it breaks my heart. We will know justice will be served, just like whatever you call justice was served for Harmony Montgomery. So I'm sharing this story to make Daniel and Malaya very aware of how a story, no matter how much you try to hide it, will always surface the truth. So Harmony Montgomery was only 4. Her mother and her father had addictions. The mother, Sorry was her last name, she lost custody of Harmony. Harmony and her little brother went to foster care. Adam Montgomery was Harmony's dad. Nobody will understand how this man with such a violent past and a mile-long rap sheet and rug problems, and it just, to this day there, you just shake your head. How? But he ended up fighting the court and winning custody of Harmony. At some point, Harmony's uncle saw Harmony, I shit you not, with a black eye. And he called CPS or the police. So they came and they took down the information. Well, Adam had gotten into a new relationship and got married to a gal named Kayla. She already had a kid. She's got another one with him. So they got a bunch of kids. And they end up losing and getting evicted from their property and they're living in their car when they have a car trouble one day. And Adam, it's later found out in court through Kayla, who protected him, even though she wasn't with him and he was in prison or in jail awaiting all this. She protected him until they ripped the kids from her and said, you just aren't going to see these kids. She finally cracked, and that's when we really got some headway and found out that Adam had gotten angry that day, living in the car and all this kind of stuff with all these kids and being homeless, that he snapped. Not the first time. He had hit Kayla, Harmony many times before. But this time, Kayla said it was something different. And she heard a crack, a sound. That left Harmony unconscious. We don't know what they did at that point, whether the silence took over or hysteria. We'll never really know. But one thing is known. They didn't go for help. They covered it up. They got a house. They got an apartment. And they moved and they moved and they moved. So I was getting visions of Harmony coming to me and just crying. And she was like, my daddy threw me away like trash. And it came to haunt me. And every time I would do a reading, I'd say, my daddy threw me away like trash. And it was just tearing me up. Like I would pray not to have the vision before bed. I wasn't dreaming in my sleep. I was seeing it in the day. Like every time I think about Harmony, the movie would play. And it was getting to me, and it was getting bad. So the reading reveals exactly what I shared with you, but at that time, we didn't even know anything. There was no arrest, there was nothing. We were just looking for Harmony. So a lot of the people that I consider my family asked me if they printed out maps of all the places that they knew Adam had been at and lived at. Could I use a pendulum? And I didn't know much about a pendulum, but I began to use it. When I did, it kept taking me to this one place that nobody had marked on the map at all. And it was on a road. There was a road near it that I knew that word meant something directly to me and was keying me up that this is important. This is important. And so I came on and I shared it with everybody, and people started freaking out. They're like, that's Adam's old apartment building. And I'm like, how do you people know that? And they're like, we know it. We're local. We know this. It's right next to this place and this place. And then they named that street. And I'm like, yes. They're like, that's Adam's old apartment. I'm like, it's the fridge. I'm in a cooler. I've been transported from a cooler in the car. So I went through a lot of detail about the body being moved to the back in the trunk, being put in a cooler. And now, months later, she's being stored in this cooler, and I'm explaining that this cooler is being put into the refrigerator in the apartment. And it sounded ludicrous. But because Harmony wouldn't quit, and it kept coming at me, I'd be making a sandwich, and I'd see Harmony for a second, and I'd look down, and in my mind, she'd say, my daddy threw me away like trash. So I couldn't take it anymore. And people are just screaming at me, call it in. I'm like, how am I going to explain any of this? There's nothing tangible about it. But one day, I just couldn't take any more. And I was alone. And I was like, I'm calling it in. So I called the FBI and I told them absolutely everything. And I had lives to back it up. They could go watch every live I had made. And there was so many of them. And it was all there. The whole scenario ramping up to the point I was like, I can't do this much longer, you guys. It's got to stop. So then the guy on the phone with the FBI was very interested. He was asking me a lot of questions, and I had answers. I was like, yeah, it's a whitish cooler. you know, and they were like, okay. And then what after that? And I'm like, I don't know. I just know that that's important. 2 days to 4 days, I can't remember. It was like that much. All of a sudden my phone starts ping, 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 ping. And I'm like, what's going on? And I get on my phone, and I have 100 of people, almost 100 people, I would say, that are saying, get on the news right now. It's live now. So I go and I put on the national news, and they're showing that the FBI is at Adam's old apartment. And I'm like, oh my golly, OMG. I'm like sitting on the edge of my bed, gripping the desk going, get the fridge, please, God, get that fridge. When out comes the fridge for the entire world to see. Every one of us took a big like moment as they replaced the fridge with a brand new one for that family. Well, it was like a year later or so. I can't even begin to share with you all that came out. But it was the most horrific story ever. And that was the decomposing remains of Harmony Montgomery that had been stored in a cooler in Adam Montgomery's old apartment inside the fridge. And they found her biological evidence also in there and in the ceiling tiles where they had tried to store her above them. And it all came out in trial. So I've always been grateful that I did call that in. I have no idea. I will not take credit for it. Could be that that's just called divine timing. But I will tell you, that happens to me. It happened with Gabby Petito. And it's happening again with Lilly and Jack. Only my only connection that seems to be happening is Jack. And I keep hearing over and over, lights out. So take it with a grain of salt if you'd like. Brush it off, call me crazy, I don't care. I walk with God every day of my life, and Jesus is my Savior. I lead a celibate life that I dedicate always to the highest good of these missing and murdered folks. I know my higher path. I don't question it. So, seeing Belinda reveal that information of the pictures of the black eye was a moment again where I was sitting on the edge of my bed going, oh my God, it's true. Like you get the hunch. So I'm just sharing that with you. Nikki UK, I remember seeing when they took the fridge out, yes. I don't make any of it up. There's nothing here I can make up. I have too many witnesses. Right? We had a great deal of people over there on this last reading on, well, not the last reading, but on this reading with Jack. Now, I pinned the original videos, and I encourage you to watch them. Take them with a grain of salt. I could have read something wrong. I just personally don't doubt it at all, the message I got. So, this is where I draw my information from. And it does give me hope, like I told Jennifer Swain, that I cannot connect with Lilly. And it begs the question, are both true? I did some research. I found out that if you are under the age of 16, and as long as you travel by land and not air, all you are required is to have your parents' permission, written slip, and your birth certificate to enter the U.S. and to exit the U.S. And that is what I found. No passport, Malaya is in control of being the sole custodian of Lilly. If she decided to adopt Lilly off to a private adoption somewhere in the United States, doesn't even have to have anything to do with the reserve. It's her prerogative because she's the one with the rights. The child doesn't get a choice, unfortunately. I'm not saying that happened. I'm just making you aware that there could be hope. I'll let you continue on with your day. I love you very much. We do have a beautiful fundraiser for tomorrow over on Crime Story Mama. We are going to do a National Center for Missing Exploited Children fundraiser. I'm sharing a beautiful painting that I have poured, you heard me right, poured, for Lilly and Jack Sullivan. We're gonna auction it off for charity. 20% is going to be given to the National Center for Missing Exploited Children. The shipping on the painting is completely free, as Jennifer Swain, our beautiful, is paying for your shipping if you are the winner of it and bid the highest. Maybe it'll go for $5, maybe it'll go for $1, maybe it'll go for $2 billion, who knows. Whatever it goes for, 20% will be supporting those families that rely on the National Center for Missing Exploited Children for free posters of their missing child. See, Malaya, you can have all the free posters of your missing child you want. You could have thousands of them and give them to groups that wouldn't even have to pay for them. You just have to contact the National Center for Missing Exploited Children, and they will supply you with all those free posters that you can get up and advocate for. But it doesn't appear that you want Lilly found or Jack. It doesn't appear like that because you're not advocating in the least. None of them are hanging up posters. As Charmaine said on It's a Crime and Shame, she was quite emotional and passionate. What's wrong with this picture? None of this family, not one of them, are advocating for these children. You can ask me, you can say, why would Malaya cover for Daniel? Because if they're both on rugs, she will lose everything. If she helped hide the BODY, she will lose everything. She would be in it over her head. With that, you are all beautiful souls. Thank you, Courtster. I love you too, Viv. I love you too. We are an amazing group. So I'm not gonna waddle on with my mouth here and do a lot of, word salad. Just needed to share all this and let you guys take it for a grain of salt. Do whatever you want. But it's left me feeling a certain kind of way. And I'm a little depressed, but at the same time I'm praying that if something did happen to one of the kids that took the life, I'm praying that they don't share the same fate. I love you to the moon and back. And I pray for Lilly and I pray for Jack that today is the day. I ask you, our beautiful, beautiful Creator, most powerful Creator, creation of life, I ask you, please make today be the day that we find out where are Lilly and Jack, and may they be found. In Jesus' name I pray this. Amen. It is so, right? It is finished. I love you too. I love you guys. All right, so get ready for the fundraiser tomorrow. Even if you can give $1 that you spare only. We're not asking anybody to stretch their pocketbook thin at all. Just if you have it to spare. We're going to be running the National Center for Missing Exploited Children fundraising across the screen. You'll be able to click that. It goes directly to them. I have nothing to do with the go-between. It is a direct shot and an actual fundraiser. I love you guys. We always want to get back, and I will see you again very soon. If I don't see you before Monday, have an absolutely beautiful weekend. And my beautiful starlights, I will see you again very soon as well. Love you to the moon and back always.